The report looks at corruption reports by province. It shows Gauteng leading the pack with 44% of claims, mainly from the city of Johannesburg. KwaZulu-Natal follows Gauteng with 13% of corruption reports. The province's figures largely come from eThekwini Metropolitan Municipality. The Western Cape province completes the top three, with the city of Cape Town contributing the highest in the province.
There's a lot of resources that go into these big metros. We need to understand that in Gauteng, for example, the population density here is approximately 15 million now, if I'm not mistaken. And as people flock to these big cities, that means government is spending a lot more in these areas, and there's a lot more development as well from business and so on and so forth. So there's likely to be a lot more corrupt activity occurring in these areas as well. So that's why, for example, you find that the city of Johannesburg has a lot of corruption cases, over 20% of cases. Same goes for city of Tshwane, Ekurhuleni, city of Cape Town, and eThekwini.
The report further finds the prevalence of corruption in the South African police service. It finds that small businesses, mostly informal traders, have their goods confiscated only to have them returned should the owners be willing to pay whatever amount of money is asked for.
31% of the cases speak about bribery, whilst 29% speak about abuse of power. And abuse of power includes what you've just mentioned in relation to how small businesses struggle or have their goods confiscated only from those business people to pay money to the police. And this happened mostly during the lockdown period, where police would go to communities, close down businesses, and then take their goods. And when business owners would fail to pay a bribe, then the police would actually end up selling the goods.
With corruption at the local level of government, it found that in municipal offices, the most prevalent form of corruption is the misappropriation of resources, which accounts for 35% of these corruption cases. It also points to a disturbing trend that has emerged during the COVID-19 crisis, which is the theft of food parcels.
This is one of those tragic realities of lockdown, but just in South Africa in general. My colleagues actually during that period would volunteer in communities, but and they would see some of these acts of corruption manifest, where you'd have councillors taking food parcels that are meant for community members, or actually selling some of these food parcels to community members.
On corruption in schools, the report says whistleblowers describe how principals, assisted by school governing body members, mismanage and steal funds meant for obtaining resources and buying supplies for the National Schools Nutrition Program. Another prevalent form of corruption is employment irregularities, which accounts for 17% of school corruption cases received. The report says teachers with fraudulent qualifications and certifications are employed and earning a salary commensurate with the illegitimate professionals. Lastly, the report says corruption in the health sector is among the trending areas of concern, accounting for 4% of reports of corruption received. It says whistleblowers purport that vacancies are designed to favor officials' preferred candidates.
And what we're seeing there is that there are issues with procurement, a lot of irregularities there, where in some instances we learned of a person heading a health facility insisting that his family members or friends should be the ones awarded tenders.
Diabosito, SABC News, Johannesburg.